Okay, so we're going to have our first discussion about the heartbeat bill. So you guys know the bill was introduced in 2011, and it was introduced by Representative Lynn Watchman at the urging of a group they're called Faith to Action, and they've got a leader named Janet Folger Porter. The bill was opposed by Ohio Right to Life. They understand that the bill is unconstitutional. Everybody's admitted that the bill is unconstitutional. And they're worried that each time it gets struck down by a court, and it's already been struck down in Arkansas and North Dakota, it'll strengthen Roe versus Wade every time it fails before a court. That's Ohio Right to Life's concern. So when the bill started to fail in 2011, Faith to Action got belligerent. They had school children hand out teddy bears to lawmakers. They flew an airplane over the State House with a banner. They put an inflatable rhino on the State House lawn. Does everybody get the rhino symbolism? Republicans in name only. They invited the Duggar family. All the Duggars were there.
I did not know they invited the Duggar family.
All
That's
the Duggars
very
were there. Yeah, it was kind of weird because there was like 19 kids and they're all shoved into this hearing room, the State House reporters. So every stunt that they can imagine, they tried it. What really made the Republicans mad the most was the accusation that all the Republicans that weren't passing this bill were killing children. And so that really made the Republican swing votes mad. So after all of the antics by Faith to Action, the Senate president announced that there would not be a vote on the bill in 2011. The House took a vote last year, just 3 months ago. They voted the bill down. So they've reintroduced it. Now this is the third time, and here we are again.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this vote, the first floor vote on the bill in this new General Assembly.
I'm curious. I know that this last vote was, 55 to 40?
Yep.
What do we know what it was when they actually voted it down? Or can we kind of remember what it was close to?
It was really
It's
close.
like 849, and they needed 50 to actually pass it. So
Yeah.
you have to have at least 50 to pass it. So
Yeah, I mean, it was just by the skin of their teeth that they failed. So, they're trying to get at the new strategy.
Well, and frankly, the Senate president even last year actually threatened to stop the Senate session and go home for the year, what they call sit and die, closed session, if the House passed the heartbeat bill.
Right.
So it's always been the Senate that's been the roadblock on this one, too. So
So I thought we'd talk about what we saw this week on the House floor. Some really great speeches by the Democrats who were in opposition to the bill. What did you think about those?
I thought it was really amazing, and I think it was a kind of spark moment that we finally reached a point where we're just fed up, completely and totally fed up. We're fed up, our legislators are fed up, and that was really obvious on the floor of the House. It started out actually with Representative Stephanie House from Cleveland doing an amazing job really capturing the decision to have an abortion.
Yeah.
She talked about her faith, her Christian faith, and talked about how women are making the decision to have an abortion out of love, from a place of love, because they know what's best for them and their family.
And she used those words.
Oh, yes, on the floor of the House. I mean, it was a really amazing moment where you had a state legislator standing up and saying, these women are loving by making this decision.
Right.
And that was so clear and so amazing for people to hear, because we usually hear, abortion is a choice and it's a woman's body, and we kind of take it this 30,000 foot view, and we don't get to that really emotional place. And it was really great to see our legislators going there this time. It was really powerful.
Yeah, Stephanie House was a rock star this week.
I totally agree. I really loved her speech as well. And just really quick, it reminded me of when we did the screening of Vessel. And I remember one quote in the movie from a woman that they were helping, which Vessel is a documentary about a woman who goes around to countries on a boat to countries where abortion is illegal, and basically gives them the abortion pill out in international waters where the laws do not stand. But anyway, so the quote was from the woman was that, I'm not a monster, I just can't have this baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so that really, resonated with me when she was talking about, women make the choice to have an abortion out of love. And then as well, Representative Feder, for the first time, actually stood up and talked about her own personal situation, her own personal rape while she was in the military, and how she decided, to have an abortion after, this sexual assault. And it was just so powerful the way she was talking about, she was saying that she respected, everyone else's story and where they were coming from, but they don't respect her and respect her story. And she just talked about how, the issue of rape had not, come up only in the sense that there's no exceptions for rape or incest. And, so it was just a really heart-wrenching personal story that she told on the floor.
Yeah, and I mean, the committee had actually even voted down an amendment to add a rape and incest exception to it. It failed in committee, so members of her party tried to introduce that amendment, and it failed in committee. So, and it was really a powerful moment on the floor of the House.
I'd never heard her say that before. Had you? I mean, I've known her
first time she's done it.
For over a decade. That was an incredible statement.
Mm-hmm. And coming from her to her colleagues too. It wasn't just some member of the public. It was her talking to her colleagues. And that moment where she had to stop it halfway through because one of her colleagues was laughing was just one of the worst things that I've seen on the floor of the House. And I've been around for a while and seen a lot of ridiculous things in that chamber. But to have somebody disrespect her story like that on the floor of the House was just
there was
insane.
so much discussion over respect and how respectful this conversation is.
Exactly.
The chairman of the committee was talking about how, this is so respectful that we each, include each other's views. And I'm like, says the guy who's banning abortions.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're respectful because you're winning the vote today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just listening doesn't mean you respect. Actually, respecting somebody to make a healthcare decision for themselves is showing respect.
Yeah. So Representative Feder, Teresa Feder of Toledo, announcing that for the first time, that was just outstanding. She made a comment as she was saying that she didn't want to read it in the paper. We have had some of our board members reach out to her to thank her for that. So while she did make that statement about the paper, she did also then later talk to reporters. It is in the paper. Yes. She asked that people seek out the video. So we've been reposting the video of her speech online to make sure that everyone can hear her words directly. It's incredibly powerful. It's on our Facebook page. We really encourage folks to check that out.
Yeah,
definitely.
And Representative Feder and Representative House weren't the only rock stars. There were other speeches.
Oh, definitely. And two other amendments. So actually, Representative House introduced an amendment with her speech to take the criminal penalties out of the bill. That was, of course, rejected. Then Representative Boyd spoke up and offered an amendment to actually put a religious exemption into the bill, such that if a woman was choosing to have an abortion based on closely held religious beliefs, that she would be able to continue to do so and choose to have an abortion, even with this bill. That amendment was struck down as well. Actually, it was tabled by the members. And then Representative LaCour Hagan from the Youngstown area also offered an amendment because this bill does have no exceptions for rape or incest. She introduced an amendment that based on a bill that we've been working on for a long time, the Compassionate Assistance for Rape Emergencies Act, to ensure access to emergency contraception following a sexual assault in emergency rooms. We've done research that found almost 25% of hospitals in Ohio don't do that. Her amendment was not even allowed to come to a vote. It was immediately ruled not germane to the bill and out of order, so they wouldn't even vote on that amendment. So she also gave a very passionate speech after her amendment. And then we heard from Representative Greta Johnson. She gave an amazing speech about how each member of the legislature was actually going against the oath of office that they took just a few months ago to uphold the Ohio Constitution and the U.S. Constitution by voting on this bill that's unconstitutional both under Ohio and the U.S. Constitution, not just one. And then we heard from Michael Curtin,
He's my rep.
Yeah.
That was outstanding.
Yeah, it really was. And it was surprising too because he's, been endorsed and a preferred candidate of Ohio Right to Life before as well. So
I don't think they understood his point of view because he was very clearly saying that the state should not strong-arm women by passing bills like this.
Yes.
It was incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been more clear. It was another really amazing moment on the floor of the House. And then Representative Fred Strayhorn kind of wrapped it up with a really great
Leader
speech.
Strayhorn.
Yes, Leader Strayhorn was a great leader that day and wrapped it all up and, kind of took all the pieces of all of the speeches by his members and really urged a no vote on the bill.
Yeah.
So although we lost the vote, it really was a moment where, sometimes you win by losing. And I think this was definitely one of those cases where we heard a bunch of amazing new freshmen. I mean, Representative House, Representative Boyd, Representative Lepore Hagan, Representative Johnson are all freshmen. They're brand new. They've been in this legislature for a couple of months.
Hitting the ground running.
Yeah, they are definitely hitting the ground running, and we're proud to work with them.
Okay. So for our supporters listening, what should they be doing next? What can they do?
They can come out to Lobby Day. Our Freedom of Choice Lobby Day is happening this year, Wednesday, April 22nd. It's going to be very exciting. Jamie, please remind us the church that we're having Lobby Day at.
We're going to be at the Trinity Episcopal Church. It's basically right across the street from the State House at the corner of 3rd and Broad. There it is. That other street I drive down every day.
Yes, so that's going to be really amazing. We're going to have Lobby Day in a really beautiful church. It's going to start at 9:30. That's where we're going to start having registration and a little bit of light breakfast. It's going to go until 3 p.m. that day. It's going to include, we're going to have a keynote speaker. We're going to do some training on having a one-on-one with your legislator. And then we're going to have some lunch around noon and a rally at the State House at 1 p.m. So we would really love it if anybody that is available that day can come out because we really want to have a very strong showing. We're going to have our other partner organizations, Planned Parenthood, the Ohio Democratic Women's Caucus, and others. So I'm forgetting others.
A whole bunch. The National Council of Jewish Women, the ACLU, Ohio Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice. It's actually done under the auspice of a coalition called the Freedom of Choice Ohio Coalition. So it'll be a whole group of amazing organizations
We
out
get by
there.
with a little strength from our friends.
We do, for sure.
Exactly. And also, I don't want to forget, we're going to be having a webinar prior to that. It's going to be yes. Yes, we're going to have a training webinar for participants who can come and for those around the state who can't participate. And it's basically going to be talking about Lobby Day, the agenda, some past Lobby Days to give a little background. And we're also going to go dive a little bit more in depth about having a one-on-one with your legislator and how to tell your personal story of why you're there and why you wanted to get involved. That's going to be happening Wednesday, April 8th at 2 p.m. And then we're going to have two more the week prior, April 14th and April 16th. That's a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 p.m. But of course, if you go on our website, we'll also have it put up there near our Pro-Choice Ohio.
Okay, so that's prochoiceohio.org.
Yes.
Lobby Day, Advocacy Day,
Yes.
April 22nd. We'll see everybody there. Okay,
Awesome.
thanks.